I have only eaten fruit for 7 months now, and here's what that did for me. First of all, I healed my vision from negative 1.5 in both eyes, needing glasses, to 20/20 vision. My vision is perfect now, and I healed my chronic gut issues. 3 years where I could eat something and it was a gamble on whether I would throw it back up. That's getting into gastroparesis or paralysis of the stomach. Totally healed. 100% fixed. I no longer get sore. I no longer get sunburned. I no longer feel pain. Even if I cut myself, I barely feel any pain, and it heals up super quick. My doesn't stink. I barely have to wipe. I don't have BO. My hair is better than it's ever been. I mean, it's super long, super healthy. My nails and skin are super healthy now. I feel amazing. My skin feels like a baby skin. I am so full of energy. I train martial arts 5 hours a day now. I never get sore when I'm doing calisthenics. I can train every day. It's amazing. I have more mental clarity. I'm more productive. I feel like it's easier to deal with thoughts. My thoughts are much more calm and peaceful and quiet, and I'm able to go into that conscious state of observing instead of being the thinker. Everything is better. I feel no downsides to this whatsoever. I've gotten stronger. I've gotten faster. I've gotten out of pain. I've gotten my eyesight back, my smell, hearing. Everything is just amplified by this. And so this is a higher level diet. And I'm not saying that everyone should do this or that I'll be able to do this forever, but if you have the chance and you're ready to go for it and get your health back, do it. Absolutely do it. And you will never regret going after your health and finding your remedy from whatever it is you may have, because you can heal from anything.
I'm super interested to know what first got you into eating only fruit.
Definitely Dr. Morse. I found him and everything he said made sense. So I went raw vegan for a while, but it's been about a 2-year journey of like vegan, raw vegan, then the 7 months of only fruit, which I am still going on.
Wow. Okay. So I'd love to know the differences between like vegan, raw vegan, and only fruit, like how you felt in general.
Absolutely. So coming from a standard American diet to vegan was definitely a big change, and I felt a lot better. I was eating a lot less, acid forming foods. So of course I was feeling a little bit better. And then the switch to raw, I really felt a major difference because, it's just that alive, full of enzymes, alkaline food, which I was doing nuts as well, but the nuts, the greens, the fruit, it was definitely a big step up from the vegan food. And I started being able to feel whenever I was eating cooked vegan that I just felt a little heavier. I didn't feel as good. But then the switch to fruit, that's really when I started seeing major healing. I would say that my gut issues had definitely gotten better through the raw vegan for about a year. But once I went on fruit, my vision just sharpened up. Within 2 months, I went from negative 1.5 to 20/20. And I was like, oh my gosh, Dr. Morse was right. This is how you heal and regenerate the body. So yeah, it was amazing.
Do you think it's realistic to do this long term, or do you think this is like not so much of a long term thing?
That's a good question. I think it is not realistic for most people to be fruitarian their whole lives. And I don't advocate that for my clients whatsoever. I just say, this is how you get in. You use herbs on top of it if you really want deep, focused healing. You get out of pain, you get out of symptoms, then you can balance out with raw vegan or cooked vegan, whatever you want to do. But I would keep high fruits. What I advocate for absolutely everyone in the world that can is fruits for breakfast. That would be a perfect change in the world, to not have the cereal, bacon, eggs, all this stuff that people have for breakfast. I would say that fruit gets your system moving, gets that lymph system flowing in the mornings when you've just been sleeping for however long, your lymph system is stagnated. So getting that moving with alkaline chemistry first thing in the morning, very important. And then if you wanted to have a salad for lunch and then whatever you want for dinner, I think that would be a good balance for most people, and they'd start getting healthier.
And was it hard to stick to at first when you first started doing this, or was it just easy, like the cravings and stuff?
It definitely wasn't easy, especially on the lemon juice fast. Just, I wasn't craving anything other than fruit, but I was just going down YouTube rabbit holes of like durian and all these tropical fruits, and I was like, oh man, I want some of that. But no, as far as craving other foods, I think I did a good job of cleaning out any fungus that would make me crave bread or cheese. I think I did a good job of clearing out parasites, and I used herbs as well along the way, like, parasite herbs to remove any parasites, fungal, bacterial overgrowths, because those do really affect craving. So I didn't have a very strong craving for anything. I just enjoyed the fruit that I was eating.
Okay, and quick on the parasites, because people might wonder. I think that can be a big problem that people don't realize they have. Like I realized in 2019, when I did some enemas, oh, whoa, like I have parasites. This is crazy. So I did kind of a cleanse with some herbs, but what were maybe a couple of the most effective herbs for you, if people are wondering, for removing the parasites?
Yeah, well, I did Dr. Morse's formulas. So those have black walnut hull, they have cloves, they have wormwood, and pau d'arco, cat's claw, things like that. Those are really good anti-parasitic herbs. It definitely cravings can come from you. They can come from your emotions, any emotional things that are tied on to you, but also the physical little beings. Fungus love bread, cheese, all that. Parasites love meat. So cleaning those out, even if you're on a diet that is not optimal, you'll still get those things out with the herbs, especially if you're doing at least like trying to kick it up to 50% fruit or 50% fruits and vegetables, 50% cooked food. I personally have a client who was on a carnivore diet because of this whole eat based on your blood type thing. O blood type, which I am as well.
Me too. I did that diet too, pretty much. And it wasn't the raw diet, let's just say.
Yeah, yeah. And so she was basically on meats her whole life, like almost exclusively. And it changed her eyes from blue to brown. So they're like almost fully brown with just a little bit of blue. And they were blue when she was born. So yeah, iridology is definitely an amazing science because you're seeing a snapshot of the whole body in just the iris. And it's just like acupuncture, you've got all the meridians. It's the same thing in your optic nerve. You can see everything going on. That optic nerve connects back to the central nervous system and to every part of your body. So it really is just a snapshot of your health. The eyes are the window to the soul, but they're also the window to your physical health. The blood sugar one makes a little bit more sense because fruits contain fructose, which is just sugar. So it makes sense that people would worry about that. But we take people who are type 1 or type 2 and we change that on fruits. We turn that all around on fruits because it's not about sugar being bad. It's high fructose corn syrup, sure, and processed sugars are very bad, but proteins actually spike your blood sugar. It's all about acidity in your body. And when you're eating acid forming foods, you go out of balance. So we take someone with low blood pressure or blood sugar or high blood pressure or blood sugar, and they'll balance out on fruits. It balances you. It's the perfect food for humans. And so, yeah, what you'll see if you have high blood sugar initially is you'll see a little bit of spikes, but then it'll go back down to baseline very, very quickly. And then you'll even out and have no problems whatsoever. When you have acidosis in the body, too many acids, then yes, you actually create cholesterol, fatty deposits to fight that acid. The body uses cholesterol or calcium to fight acids. And so then you end up with fat in your blood, and then you got cholesterol plaquing, leads to strokes and heart attacks and all of that. But when you get alkaline, everything, and not too alkaline, that's another point. The Kangen waters, 9.5 pH, that's out of balance. We need to be in a slightly alkaline balance, not too alkaline, not too acidic, in that perfect, the blood is 7.4 pH. That's our perfect balance. And that's what you get from fruits. They're 80% alkaline chemistry and 20% acidic chemistry. If we're 50-50, things are not as good. We need 80% nitrogen in the air, 20% oxygen. And as far as teeth go, people ask me that, and it's interesting because there's nothing in a fruit that's going to hurt your teeth. That's kind of a misconception. It's definitely having an acidic mouth from acid forming foods that will start stripping your teeth. And like on my lemon juice fast, I was definitely feeling that, some of my teeth got sensitive after about 10 days. So I just started not eating whole lemons because I was just like eating whole lemons and not washing my mouth out. But as soon as I started washing my mouth out with water and just returning that alkaline balance in the mouth, then I had no more problems with it whatsoever. And you can see plenty of people who are long-term on fruits who have totally perfect teeth. But it's more about if you can test your saliva and it's acidic, then you've got problems. Then you're going to be losing your teeth, losing your enamel, all of that. In the past 100, 200 years, when we've introduced processed foods and high fructose corn syrup and glyphosate, all the pesticides are just, toxifying our bodies. So you take a person 100 years ago and you give them a shot full of thimerosal, mercury toxins, and they're going to be okay. Their lymph system is going to detox that out. But you take a kid today and you do that to them, you might end up with a kid with ADHD or seizures, and we see that all the time. So it's about the lymphatic system. It's about how your body can remove these wastes. And as we go on, things just get worse and worse, except for the people who are turning it around, giving their kids better genetics, which is what we need to see. So we're kind of just sliding off a cliff slowly here.
Yeah, and I feel like there's a lot of depression today and just
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot of crazy things happening in society. And I do think a lot of it is the food, because I do think we take on the consciousness of a lot of the things we consume, don't you think? It's a lot of the reason for all this craziness and depression in society, like a lot of it is the food and lack of movement.
Absolutely. And depression specifically, that's connected to one very important gland with it, which is your parathyroid gland. So the parathyroid is involved in utilizing calcium. And for you to be happy, you have to get serotonin out. For serotonin to come out, calcium actually has to go in. So calcium utilization, which comes from your parathyroid, is what leads to depression. So people who have a parathyroid that's down, that would go along with a thyroid usually. So they'd have cold hands and feet, they would have slow metabolism, and then they get connective tissue problems from the calcium on top of depression. We see that a lot in mothers who give their calcium to their babies and they don't have the parathyroid to replenish it. Then they end up losing their teeth. They end up with postpartum depression. And so, yeah, 100%, it's the food, and the food has consciousness, but it's also, colors. Like you can't have a prison painted red. That's a recipe for a disaster. It's all like, even watermelon for me is a very aggressive fruit. Whenever, because I do martial arts, it's a soft style, but we're still, doing martial arts. And I feel way more aggressive when I have watermelon juice as compared to grape juice. So definitely there's differences in colors and consciousness and smells. And all of this is just frequencies of electromagnetic energy. So when you take in the fruit, that's definitely way higher in, if you want to call it your chakras, your energy centers, that's way up, towards the crown. Whereas meat is taking you right into the root, right into those adrenal glands. And so when you're eating meat, it shuts down your adrenal glands because you get those neurotransmitters from the meat. It's just a piece of tissue. It's just an animal's arm or leg or whatever part you're eating. And so it contains those neurotransmitters. When you take that in, your body stops making neurotransmitters. And so it shuts down your adrenal glands. Anything you take, your body stops making. So very important to not take things. Don't take steroids, hormones, digestive enzymes. All of these shut your body down.
And what do you think of omega-3s?
I would say that you definitely don't need omega-3s. Anything that you can get from the fruits is going to be exactly what you need. We don't need fish oil. That's not natural for a primate to go and extract the oil from a fish to eat it. We don't need to supplement. We need to get our bodies utilizing and absorbing nutrients, because it's not about external deficiencies. Oh, I need more iron, zinc, selenium. No, your adrenal glands utilize all of these minerals. So you need to get your adrenals up with herbs and an alkaline diet, and then you'll have no problems with iron. We get rid of anemia all the time just through detoxification. So it's all about how you're utilizing and absorbing nutrients, not deficiencies.
And what's been the best part of all of this?
The best part has definitely been helping people, because I just have really been opened up to the world of giving, and then you receive when you give, and it's the most rewarding thing to have people like super excited that they are getting out of their health issues, and you're helping them with that, and going along these journeys with people, the same things that I've experienced. People are like, oh my God, the energy that's coming into me is amazing, and my acne's all gone, and I feel so much better. And I had a woman who had chronic stomach pain for 20 years. And in 5 days of not even only fruits, but like 80% fruits and cooked food for dinner, stomach pain gone. She lost 10 pounds in 5 days, and she's down a lot more now, feeling so much better. And so it's just amazing. Turning people around, like literally miraculous stuff in the modern day, is totally possible through the simplicity of health. Or just the fact that you can heal from anything. People need to get their hope back. They need to stop believing these death sentences from medical doctors like, oh, you have 6 months to live, 3 months to live. They don't know that. They don't have a crystal ball. They are just going based off of their conditioned thinking. And in society, we have a lot of people that are conditioned to believe authority unquestioningly. And when you stop doing that, when you become your own authority and you start knowing these things, you stop bouncing around from carnivore to vegan to keto to whatever, and you start really understanding chemistry and physics, acid and alkaline, blood and lymph. You have a sewer system in your body. It needs to be clean for you to be healthy. When you start knowing these things and doing the research for yourself, or at least finding someone that really aligns with you and resonates with you and following them and not just, following someone, then going following someone else, you'll never get anywhere with that. So really understand that you can heal yourself from anything and that you need to get your hope back, go after your health, and cut out the foods that caused the problem in the first place. Because here it's all cause and effect. If you caused it, you're going to have that effect. So take that power back. It's your fault, but it's also your power. It is your power and your responsibility to change the things that you have brought upon yourself in this life through your eating or through genetics. You can turn all your genetics around and regenerate your body and have healthier children, bring in amazing, great souls. That's what I see in mothers, is that they are bringing in super high power babies when they're on fruits. It's amazing. And raw foods in general. They bring in, these super intelligent kids who are just too smart for school. So this level just hasn't really been brought out yet, but it definitely is now with Dr. Morse and lots of other great people bringing this knowledge of regeneration and detoxification to the earth so that people can stop going down this negative path, sliding off a cliff, and we can turn everything around.